Hey there, Investing.com community. I'm Tom Monteiro, Investing.com's head of financial content, bringing you the second episode of our Fair Value Corner, where we go beyond the headlines and sit down with CEOs to understand what they think about valuations as well as the current market trends. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome the CEO of a unicorn company that has transformed from a hotel booking platform into a global technology powerhouse worth north of $6 billion. We hope to get deeper into the valuation further down the line, but for now, let me extend our warm welcome to Jeff Kim, CEO of South Korea-based Yajnolja Cloud. Jeff, thank you for joining us today.
Great to see you. Thank you for inviting us.
So before we can move on to the more difficult questions, can you just introduce yourself and Yajnolja Cloud a bit more in depth for us?
Yanolja is a AI-powered data enablement platform. We would like to develop the new innovative ecosystem. That's the reason why we started from the SaaS business. SaaS means cloud-based solution to automate the property's operation like a hotel. And then we have extended into AI and big data based connectivity business. We are calling this as a transaction solution. We are connecting between 1.3 million suppliers like a hotel, airline, and leisure facilities, and 21,000 global sales channels, including online travel agency, tour operator, and bed banks. Based on this connectivity, recently we have launched new AI data solution businesses. We can help suppliers and sales channel automate their pricing to maximize their revenue. At the same time, we have AI capability to create better content for our travelers.
Since, this is the Fair Value Corner, so I want to talk a little bit about valuations, but you haven't gone public yet. So it's kind of tricky to talk about it. So I think this is really interesting. There's a famous quote by Donald Trump, and I'm leaving politics aside here, by the way. So just talking about him as a business person, right? So he has a famous quote that says, there are several ways to value private companies, all of which are correct at some point, right? So this holds some truth because every time you try to value a thriving private company such as yourself, different analysts, investors, banks, and even the company itself will hardly agree on the numbers, right? And it's mostly because valuations are a negotiation process in itself. And this is particularly true for Yanolja at this point. I mean, I was even searching online, to try to get a hang of the valuation prior to coming here. And I saw everywhere ranging from, down to 6 billion all the way to 9 billion, right? Because we're talking about a 50% difference here. It's huge, right? Can you just give us a ballpark figure of where you think that dollar figure should be? And most importantly, how are you valuing those assets?
While I'm sure you may understand, I cannot share specific comment on the valuation, but I would like to talk about two major things. First, growth. Second, vision. In 2024, we made more than 180% YY growth in our total transaction volume. So we achieved more than 18 billion US dollar the transaction volume, which is the great number and great achievement in terms of the growth. At the same time, I think we need to think of the vision. Yanolja is a very unique company to have our own streamlined proprietary data from the supplier to the end consumer. I believe most of the travel companies could not have a holistic data. That's the reason why they depend on the one side, supplier or end consumer. However, we have started from the SaaS business to automate the supplier's operation first. At the same time, we have extended into the connectivity business with the global leading big data and AI technologies. That's the reason why Yanolja could be a largest online travel agency in Korea. At the same time, we could be connected with most of the major sales channels, including the OTA and tour operator and travel agencies in more than 200 countries. I believe that this kind of the unique position has been driving us to be a next generation travel technology company, not travel company. That means Yanolja is building two visions. First one is travel-specific generative AI. I think generative AI should provide streamlined experience for the travelers. Beyond the recommendation or auto-generated personalized itinerary for the travelers, I think we should provide very interesting and attractive fintech service. Also, we should provide AI concierge service to help the traveler be connected with the property manager or each operator. At the same time, we should automate every kinds of the traveler's experience, even during the travel. That's very important, I think. At the same time, we are building full autonomous operation of properties. I think if we depend on the manual process, it's impossible to have very high quality streamlined data flow. That's the reason why we are automating the operations of properties through our own full autonomous operation. You have heard about FSD, full self-driving. Similarly, I think Yanolja is a very unique company to drive, to read the full autonomous operation to populate very high quality data for our travelers and travel enterprises.
You touched on a point that I think it's really interesting, which is like the uniqueness of Yajnolja as a company, right? Because I was just comparing some of the metrics, as much as I could, and I was looking, for example, at cloud revenue from Oracle, right, which is a thriving company, and I saw that the revenue jumped like 33% year on year during the last earnings, right? But I was looking at Yajnolja actually, and you're basically doubling every 2 years, right? What's the secret sauce here? I mean, is it less competition because you're a unique company?
As you mentioned, Yanolja growing very fast, and officially, Yanolja is the fastest growing travel company in the world. There are three reasons, I think. First, we have expanded very aggressively into global. Yanolja started from South Korea. However, for the last 10 years, we have expanded into so many countries step by step. About 7 to 8 years ago, we had an investment from the Singapore Sovereign Fund, GIC, and the Booking Holdings listed in US. We could expand into many Asian countries, especially in India. That's the reason why we could be a leading SaaS and the connectivity service provider in Asia, especially number one in India. And then we have expanded into the other countries like Europe and US about 3 to 4 years ago. For that, we have had funding from the SoftBank Vision Fund. So we got around 1.7 billion US dollar funding to make a global expansion. So I think we have a very long and aggressive history of global expansion, and the expansion has been quite successful. So that's one of the reasons why we could make a very good growth. At the same time, Yanolja is a data company. I would like to describe Yanolja as an AI-powered data enablement company. So we do not compete with the other companies. Rather than the competition, we would like to enable all the global travel companies be more efficient, and also we would like to help them to provide better quality service for the travelers. That's the reason why we could be connected with more than 1.3 million suppliers, including hotel, and the 21,000 global sales channels, including most of the online travel agency, tour operator, bed bank, and wholesalers. So we would like to help, we would like to enable the customers be better travel company. Yanolja is not a travel company. Yanolja is a travel technology company. So we have invested into technology for a long time. More than one-third employees are the R&D. At the same time, we have invested into AI a lot compared to any other travel companies, I believe. That's another reason why recently we could accelerate our growth through very broad range of global customer base. Third one is about AI itself. Recently, we have launched new AI data services, which has been very successful. So at the first quarter in 2024, pure AI data solutions revenue portion was only 14%, but recently at the fourth quarter of last year, the portion of AI data solution revenue was almost 25%. So I believe that the growth from pure AI data services will be another growth lever for Yanolja from now on.
You actually mentioned so many points that I want to get more deep into actually here. But for starters, just to keep things on the major topics, I think everyone is just asking themselves, right? With such great growth metrics and impressive numbers, why hasn't Yanolja gone public yet? And what would you consider the right moment to go public to be?
Definitely, I believe IPO is just a means, not an end. So in that sense, we would like to pursue our vision. Can you imagine the new AI era? That means we may have a humanoid in the road, and then we may have another level of the service qualities. So in that sense, as I mentioned before, we would like to develop the full autonomous operation. For example, if you make a reservation today, I think you would like to understand how to get there, what kind of the food nearby the hotel, or how to make a better service from the attractions. Those kind of the questions can be answered by AI. So we developed AI concierge service to answer to any kinds of the questions. But sometimes AI cannot answer to the question, then we have a capability to redirect the answer to the centralized call center. At the same time, sometimes we should provide in-person service like housekeeping, laundry, amenity, and food services. In that case, our system is connected with each operators with different skill sets. That's the reason why we are building new ecosystem. So I believe that travel industry is a little bit slow, sometimes lag behind compared to the other industries. So in that sense, if Yanolja become the leading travel technology company, I believe that total address market for us is huge. That's the reason why we are doing the innovation and growth. So in that sense, sometimes we need to have the capital. Yanolja is profitable company. So we don't need to spend our cash for our operation. But if we would like to make a vast amount of the additional data through the inorganic, or if we would like to level up our AI capability through another acquisition, I think those kind of the usual process is necessary sometimes. So whenever we need to have another strategic the step up or the level up through the acquisition or through the new AI capacity, then I think we need to consider additional capital injection for us. But anyway, for our operation or for our regular business, thanks to our good profitability and enhanced profitability, we don't have to have a new funding. While if we consider another expansion into new geography or new category, or if you'd like to have a level up of our AI capacity, it's possible to consider those kind of the new actions.
When you do decide to go public, please let us here at Investing.com know. We would love to break the story, but that's not the point here. So just moving on, I just wanted to bring this back to the financial side because you said you're investing a lot in building up the AI offering, right? And this is a topic that has been sort of big in the US because most companies are spending lots of cash in AI because the CapEx has become just so large in terms of, building that data offering and just getting the hardware and everything that's involved with that operation. Is a lower CapEx, I mean, in comparison to other AI companies, one of Yanolja's secrets?
Absolutely. There are three reasons why Yanolja could have a right asset and right capital approach. First, Yanolja started from the data business about 10 years ago. So our customers, from the suppliers to the sales channels and even the end consumer, are using our service, and which is the source of our proprietary data. So we have built our own data lake with streamlined data flow from the supplier to the end consumer. Such end-to-end streamlined data flow is the reason why we could be connected with all the additional global customers. This is why Yanolja was very lucky to have our own proprietary data. If Yanolja tried to have external data from the other third parties, they feel we need to invest into huge asset and capital heavy business. However, we have built our own proprietary data-based business. That's why relatively we could have a low capital expenditure the approach. Second is the our business structure itself. We are doing profitable AI data business. We are not testing our service. So in terms of many AI services, they are testing through the B2C and the consumer. But it's very difficult to charge proper fee to the end consumer yet. For example, if Yanolja provide AI itinerary service, so our end consumer can have a auto-generated personalized itinerary for their travel. However, we do not charge any. But in case of the AI data service for our travel enterprises, they could have very exact benefit like cost down or profitability enhancement. So thanks to the very exact number and exact improvement, we could charge as a profit sharing or subscription fee. So we have built our own AI data services for the travel enterprises as well, which is the source of our revenue and profit. This is why Yanolja could make a profitable AI services. The other one is about the collaboration with many AI companies. Yanolja is collaborating with many leading generative AIs like OpenAI, Google Cloud, and more. Such kind of the collaboration can be helpful for us to save such capital and asset cost. That's the reason why Yanolja could have a very sustainable the asset right business than any other.
And how does geography come into play here? I mean, you're based, obviously, you're South Korean based, you're close to China, you're close to the US, or you're basically in the middle of the race. Does that help in any way? And does that, affect what you do?
US and China are very important region to us. In addition to that, Europe is another important market to us. So as of now, out of our transaction solution business, which means the big data and AI based connectivity service, out of the business, the EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa account for almost 54%. And Americas, including North America and Latin America, account for another 21%. That means APEC, including Korea and China, account for only 25%. So I believe that Yanolja successfully shifted our core market from the Asia to the developed countries like US and Europe because the total addressable market of such regions like US and Europe are the biggest among all the travel countries and among the travel destinations. This is why we believe that shift to the Europe and US is another reason why Yanolja could make a very sustainable growth. At the same time, we need to consider the collaboration with many generative AI companies. We already made a good collaboration or partnerships with major generative AI companies like OpenAI and the Google Cloud from the US. So in that sense, we need to think of the many opportunities to work with generative AI. We are looking forward to having new Gen AI companies because they are the potential customer for us to disrupt this ecosystem in travel industry. At the same time, through them, I believe that Yanolja can have more opportunities to create bigger growth with better profitability.
This is something that's really important, and it's really on the radar of our readers. And I think you have you come from a nice place to tell them a different opinion, and a very important opinion, if you will. I mean, how do you see the whole China DeepSeek and OpenAI and everything that's going on in that area? I mean, is this something like really disruptive for the market, or is this something that the US should treat as, just another headwind that's going to fade? How do you see the whole situation?
In my opinion, there are three areas we seriously consider. First, data protection and security. Yanolja has so many travel enterprises as our customer. So we are very cautious about the data protection and security. We have invested into the advanced data architecture to enhance such capability as well. So in that sense, whenever having new collaborations and the partnerships, we try to evaluate their capability about the data protection and security. Second is about the business expansion. I think AI and the AI businesses will bring new form factor and interfaces. We are using the application or web-based services. But with the Gen AI, I think we don't have to do that. That means we can populate more inventories and we can enjoy more diversified options. So in that sense, if any Gen AI can be a major interface for the users, definitely we need to work with them. But only with the generative AI technologies itself, I think it's impossible to be a new form factor. That means each Gen AI should have a consumers. They should have a real users. At the same time, they should have a loyalty. So in that sense, I think beyond the technology itself, each generative AI company should consider how much the satisfaction of the users they can make. So in that sense, I think the experience to handle the end users interface and their satisfaction is quite important to have a new partners as a generative AI, I think. Third one is about the market size itself. China market is quite large. So we are working with many leading tech companies and travel companies from China already. So in that sense, definitely we need to consider the collaboration with such companies. But the first and second factors are quite important for us to understand these new Gen AI companies will be sustainable or not.
Looking at the broad AI cycle as a whole, I mean, where do we stand right now? Is this like the first 5 years of a 20-year cycle, or are we looking at, are we looking at near peak? How do you see the whole cycle coming to fruition?
I believe less than 5 years. So for example, we had difficulties in using the third party's translation tool before. So we made a decision to build our own translation tool, which is much better than the other very popular translation tools from the big tech. Likewise, I think We already have very advanced AI world. AI can enhance the efficiency and the quality of the services very, very quickly. Also, I think we already used the previous form factor too long time. The mobile phone and the application and web-based services cannot enhance our experience anymore. On top of that, agentic AI and robotic AI will be another major work stream and the new the service we will have. So considering those kind of the circumstances, I believe that Gen AI will come very soon. So recently I visit the San Francisco and from the airport to the office, I saw so many billboards along with the highway. And I felt more than 90% out of the billboards are talking about the AI or agentic AI. So we already have AI, I think, for our life. And definitely, I think we will have a new AI era soon.
Some people say that when you start seeing too many words in the billboard, it means that the cycle is coming to an end. But let's hope it's not the case this time. So Jeff, just want to thank you very much for joining us today. This was really enlightening. We at Investing.com will be keeping a close watch on your next move.
Thank you for your interest in Yanolja. Yanolja means, hey, let's play. So we would like to disrupt travel ecosystem in a better way. That's the reason why we have invested into the data and AI for a long time. So in that sense, I believe that Yanolja will be a good data enablement platform with all the travel companies. I think if we try to compete with the other companies only, it's impossible to enhance the size of the market itself. Travel industry account for almost 10% out of global GDP. That means travel is very important for the global economy. So we will do our best as the fastest growing company and the most innovative company in this sector.
Just want to take this moment to thank you, the audience, for watching our show. And I look forward to seeing you in the comment section. Please make sure to follow the channel and like this video. We have lots of exciting companies in the lineup. So stay tuned, everyone.